Hi, this is Steve Loudermilk of the Lottie Properties team at Caldwell Banker Realty, and welcome to my YouTube video series on profiles on Forsyth County businesses. We're going to be doing our third video series today with Dr. Caitlyn Cortner of Arise Family Chiropractic. And just a little bit about my team. We've been in the business about 10 years, and we're local leading realtors in the area. And we're focusing today on another high-impact local business in the area. So without further ado, I'm going to launch into some great questions with Dr. Caitlyn Cortner.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Cortner.
Hi.
So just as a little bit of background, I know you have a very unique personal story that you would like to tell our viewers today.
Absolutely.
If you could tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So I absolutely love chiropractic care, and I was introduced to it when I was 13. So I didn't necessarily grow up with it, but I was pretty sick as a kid. I had chronic ear infections, strep throat, pretty much every other month. And at 13 years old, I was diagnosed early with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I had been to multiple doctors throughout the course of a year of being diagnosed, and I had really bad reactions. I had ovarian cysts the size of golf balls, and doctors couldn't figure out why. All they could tell me was, this is an incurable condition, you have to manage this for the rest of your life, and here's a birth control pill. And neither I nor my mother felt comfortable when I was young enough to take the medication, so I didn't take the meds. Not to say that some people should, but I went that whole year, and my mom actually started seeing a chiropractor for her own back issues. And after she started seeing really good results, he reached out to her and said, why don't we check your daughter? Let's at least see if there's any interference in her nerves, because that could actually be leading her down this path. And we checked my nerves, we checked my spine, we actually ended up taking x-rays, and with my curvature in my neck at 198% loss of a normal curve.
Wow.
So that essentially told me I looked broken on a film. And we were dumbfounded, because every doctor had missed it up until this point. And basically he said, well, your brain has to send signals down your spine, and it's not effectively doing that. So let's get your body to start healing, and let's see how much your body can do, right? He wasn't treating my PCOS. He wasn't treating my ear infections or my strep throat, right? But when my body started to heal, about 6 months into care, because it made sense to start care, I started to see some really good results. My ovarian cysts went away, the symptoms I had previously went away, and the ear infections and the strep throat did not come back. So I, went another year, got my blood work redone, and it turned out that my blood work came back normal, my thyroid was leveled, everything came back positive, that I was, basically I grew out of this condition is what the medical team had said. But at that point, I knew that wasn't necessarily the case, because they didn't really have a way of telling me or scientifically measuring how my body was healing.
Right.
And that's kind of where I drew that line in the sand, and I wanted to make sure that other people knew, about chiropractic care, because it's not a cure-all. But if your body is not healing, your body has the ability to heal once you take care of your nervous system from so many other issues. And that's kind of where, Arise Chiropractic was founded. I wanted people to be able to, no pun intended, but arise to their optimal health, through taking care of their nerves. And that's really what we do here.
So yeah, speaking of which, Dr. Cortner, if you could tell me a little bit more about how you started your practice, and kind of give us a walk around your clinic as well, and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, so I can show you out in the front here real quick. This is our lobby area, and when we first built our practice, I had about 90 days before we opened, and I joined pretty much every networking group you can imagine. Mm-hmm. One of which, I have a really good business networking team that I work with called BNI. But I was part of the chamber. I'm still part of, I get into the chamber, sporadically now, but I love giving back. This area here, this is our front lobby. This is where we see, a lot of new patients in here where they come in, they sit down. We have a kids area, our front reception area. We have a little bit of a quirkiness behind us. I have a blend of our own coffee. I'm a coffee connoisseur.
Uh-huh.
So
I could see that.
And then in here, this is where our patients do exercises before and after they get adjusted. So what that helps to do is kind of warm the spine up for the adjustment, right? So you warm up before you work out, but it's the same concept for your discs and the spinal facet joints, right? You want to warm up the spine to get things moving. That way the adjustment goes a lot smoother. And then with the adjustments, once we finish up, we set on the, well, we actually, for most of the patients, about 90% of my patients, except for pregnant mommies or, you know, of course, surgical or fracture reasons, you can't do the Vibe plate. But the Vibe plate helps you hold the adjustment. So once you get done with the, you know, adjustment, you're actually setting your adjustment with the Vibe plate. And it helps you hold your adjustment longer, but it also helps with what we call proprioception. So it creates better muscle memory and all of that. So, you know, in here, I can show you around a little bit. These are our adjusting bays. So our first adjusting bay, our second one here. And speaking of, you know, building our practice out, this adjusting bay in here wasn't built out until about half a year into our practice. We started very humbly. We grew organically. I didn't want to grow exponentially all at once. I wanted to organically grow by referrals, and it was really, really nice to be able to kind of meet the community and talk with them. And that's why we, you know, kind of were able to figure out what we wanted to do for our third adjusting bay. So there's a little bit of a story behind this one. But this is our mama and baby bay. So I know a lot of chiropractors.
A special bay, right?
Yeah. So a lot of chiropractors just, you know, adjust patients for neck and back pain, right? Well, our practice is kind of more on the holistic side, and we see people for wellness. And one huge demand, because our office, you know, we have female chiropractors and stuff like that, and a lot of mommies come in and they trust us. They want to get adjusted, but they don't necessarily know how they should get adjusted or what that even looks like, right? So we have a lot of ways to educate our mommies and a lot of ways to educate our parents on their babies getting adjusted. So a little background about myself. I have a 9.5-month-old. Her name is Faylin. She is our world, but she gets adjusted, and she's been adjusted since birth. So if you come in here, I can show you a little bit around the table, but these are our pregnancy pillows, and these are our pediatric pillows. So we use these for our infants and for our first trimester mommies. This is for our third trimester mommies. So when we have infants in here, you know, the adjustment is a lot different than it would be to adjust even a pregnant mommy or even an adult. So, you know, we walk each person through what they need, and the biggest thing about that is just getting to the source of what they have going on if they come in with ailments, and educating them on their spine and their nervous system if they don't come in with any ailments and they want to take care of the foundation of their health. So that's kind of what I have about our office. So do you have, I know you had some other questions.
And my final question, Dr. Cortner, is, and thank you very much for the background and information about your office. And for you viewers out there, I'm actually a client of Dr. Cortner's, and I've just started with her wellness and health care, and she's been doing an incredible job.
Well, thank you.
And my final question for you is, can you tell me a little bit more about your business in terms of how people reach you on Facebook and Instagram and where you're located?
Absolutely. So a lot of people look at our Facebook profile. It's Arise Family Chiropractic, and we have a bunch of pictures and videos and educational snippets on our Facebook, and we post pretty much every other day or every day if we can. And a lot of people also reach us through our website at www.arisefamilychiropractic.com. And we also do, you know, promotions throughout the year. You know, we do a lot for the community, and we try to wrap our promotions around helping the community. So our biggest thing is networking and getting to know what the general public and our community loves and what they need to know about chiropractic care. So if you ever see me post a question on Focus on Forsyth Local or Focus on Forsyth or Forsyth County Moms or the AMC Moms group, you know, you'll see me post questions because I want to learn what you guys want to know. And we actually, you know, produce professional videos on educational topics. You know, I had a lot of pregnant mommies. Yeah. Ask me about Webster technique. So I made one on Webster, you know, and I figured out I figured that out from Facebook. So that's one way. And I guess another way that we help out is, you know, we do food drives and we do backpack donations. So we just did one for Hopes for Joy Foundation. We donated about 15 backpacks full of school supplies. But when our patients donated those school supplies, they also got their initial visit covered in our practice. So we do things like that throughout the year. And because COVID has been kind of unique in a way,
Yes.
it's had people sequestered in their homes, and people have had to take time off of work, and they've had more problems and pressures, so stress really affects the body. So we've had a lot of new patients come in that have never been, and we've offered our promotions kind of at a prolonged state. So instead of doing it for a week at a time, we've done things for months at a time to help our patients throughout this year.
That's great. Great
Yeah.
back to the community is so important as well.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Cortner. Really appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
today, and I'm just going to turn it back to myself for a
Yeah.
quick ending here.
Sure.
So again, my name's Steve Otterbrook with the Loudy Properties team at Coldwell Banker, and thanks for tuning in today for our third profile series on Focus on Forsyth Impactful Businesses. And we'd love to work with you as well. Our number is 678-333-4377. Loudy Properties team on Facebook, and Stephen with ph.laudermilk at coldwellbanker.com. Thank you very much.